evening, guys. I am Sean Keenan, your host of Comics to Movies and More. And as always, we have the very special Stephen. How are we tonight, mate? We're going to be talking everything The Matrix. We're going to be talking all of our projects because we're absolutely jam-packed with projects at the moment. And then we're going to give everyone a bit of a sneak peek into what we've both got in the works coming up. But firstly, how are you tonight? How is everything?
I'm good. I love the new music. It is awesome. The old music was good too. Don't get me wrong, but the new music, it's also really good. I don't know what I'm saying, but I like. No offense, whoever wrote those pieces of music, I like this one a little bit more because it's new and something I haven't heard for a while. How is everybody?
Well, it seems like there's a few people in the chat, so let's say hello to everyone. But if you don't know Comics to Movies and More, we jump on live each Sunday night at 10 p.m. We talk about comics, movies, and crowdfunding tips. So join us live or check it out our channel where we've got other quick starter videos. But remember to hit that subscribe button and smash that notify button so you know when our videos go live. But tonight we've got a few people here already. So we've got Chris.
Hey, Chris.
How are you, mate? Sazigal, how are we going? Moira, good morning over there. And Mandeep, hello, guys. We missed you guys last week. I saw they were at a convention last week, so I missed you guys. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend last weekend, and Nerds Amalgamated as well. Yo, how are we going? So,
hey, Nerds. Look, I'm actually really excited to talk about this movie because I would have to say they didn't pivot well, and I'll explain that. So that's a teaser coming up, which I have to say, Matrix did not pivot. And can I dive into it yet, or
go ahead? You've got me. In suspense. So you go.
Okay.
Jump in. So
hot take on Matrix, and I had a hot take on Titanic last week, which got you really riled up. So if you feel the need that you need to take me off a little bit because there's too much anger there, I can accept that. Think about the two movies I think pivoted really, really. Actually, there's really, really well, and there's one movie which pivoted really badly. Alien to Aliens, Terminator to Terminator 2, I think pivoted very, very well. So Alien started off almost as your classic horror movie. And using the same elements, they pivoted very much into this whole action sequence. Still horror, but done very differently. I thought that was a fantastic pivot. Look at Terminator. Terminator was a horror movie. If you watch the original Terminator, they had a lot of scenes where I think Arnie was ripping his own eyeball out and all that. It was a horror flick and the other thing was, in both cases, you didn't quite know what was going on with Aliens and with Terminator. When you think everything is fine and the alien bursts out of the chest, you realize Arnie was a robot halfway through, and stuff like that. You had the suspense element, but to the second movie where the suspense element was gone, you have to pivot. For example, a franchise that pivoted very badly was Predator from 1 to 2. So
totally agree.
Predator 1 had that whole element of the suspense. It was, it's in jungle. What was it? You had no idea. It was, and then when they pivoted to the city, they just got rid of all the elements that got, all the jump scares, all that. It was just done really badly. Now, Matrix, I think the second and third movie pivoted very badly, and I can kind of pinpoint exactly what I would have done differently. The first Matrix was very suspenseful because and I was really lucky because back in university, they used to give free movie tickets out to poor uni students like me because what they used to do was if you wrote a review for the school, the uni paper, you got free tickets. I had tickets to Sixth Sense even before the trailers came out. Oh, that blew my mind. I had tickets to Matrix before anything came out. So when I went in, it was totally blind for Matrix was totally blind. And it was great because you didn't know what was happening because it was all that suspense and whatever. And then when it turned out to the final action sequences and the third act, I thought was brilliant. But they when they tried to pivot in the second movie, they pivoted to the most boring elements. You want to pivot to something exciting. What did they pivot to? They pivot to about IT discussions, about cycle loops, architects. It was like, and oh gosh, and lost program. It was just, I understand the allegory. Like, I'm in IT a little bit, so I understand all the allegories they're doing. But seriously, who cares? It was just done. And if you actually watch the second and third one again, in between the action sequences was the most insipid, boring dialogue and writing. And that's what they doubled down on. That's what they pivoted to. And I was thinking, oh gosh, you did it wrong. Because what you should have really done was focused a lot more on the why, so you're out of the matrix. But a lot of, like, for example, a lot of people are still trying to get back into the matrix because they go, I'm out, the world sucks out here. It was real. And then have that whole discussion. And if you want the discussion, have the discussion about reality, what really makes up what you believe is reality, your thought processes. Throw in a lot of action sequences about what is real and unreal. That would have been really real, I think. And a lot more of the human condition, and play a lot of those themes really well, I think would have made a better movie. Instead, they were talking about programming and loop cycles, and it's like, let's face it, IT is actually on the whole pretty boring. And I work in IT. Software development is not fun. It's not exciting. And removing that whole, what's real, what's not real, and playing off that elements, I think would have made a fantastic movie. They pivoted wrongly, and so that's my hot take. What do you think?
Well, The Matrix itself, the original movie, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love it. But as a trilogy, I have to tend to agree with you. It was a quite a long time that it took me to rewatch the third one, because every time I put it on, I was just like, this is like so bad. Like, I didn't mind the second one, but kind of I agree with you in regards to the storytelling, or the line or direction they decided to take was probably not the best story that they could have told, especially when out of the first one, where you've got someone that's been out and wants to get back in, and that whole, like, well, what are we fighting for if there's nothing there, and the planet is destroyed? Why would you want to live on the outside anyway? So delving into that, and the humanity side a little bit more, rather than, as you said, just focusing on it's a computer program or an architect, and we're rebooting, and you've been through this before. And then, I liked in the first one where, and I know that both the directors are quite religious, but I kind of was a little frustrated with the third movie about how in your face the innuendos was, with Keanu Reeves, losing his sight and having the metal around his head, like the thorn of crowns, and when he's on the bed, he's kind of in the crucifix position, and all of that. I was like, the thing that intrigued me, and what I love about storytelling, is where they leave a little bit of that for you to come up with your own reality, or your own decision on what the one is. And I really liked that. And again, I'll throw in my Star Wars reference for this week. Is the same thing with the Force. Yes, they talk about the midichlorians and everything, but they don't say, oh, this is the Force and this is who wields it, and you have to do this, and here are all the rules. It's like they kind of say, well, it's just a force. good and bad can use it. It's all about the person who wields it, and it leaves it up to you to kind of decide, well, are you good, or everyone plays that scenario going, well, is Luke good? He blew up a space station with almost 1 billion people in it. From the other side, he's quite a bad person. So it's all about a certain point of view, as you would say. So Matrix alone, absolutely love.
Oh, fantastic.
I was really excited about what they were going to do with the fourth, but the trailer has just gotten me. I rewatched it before we jumped onto this stream, because I was like, I was pretty harsh the other week when we were talking about it, and I was like, I need to kind of rewatch it just to think that a second time I might change my mind. No, it made me worse. I was just like, this actually is deterring me from wanting to watch the next one. So it'll be interesting to see what the chat is saying. But yeah,
I'm still going to watch the next one, and look, all I hope it exceeds expectations.
Chris, 100% agree with you, man. The Animatrix was great. When they alluded to that young boy maybe being the one instead, again, I loved that fact. Was you don't know who the one is. We're making assumptions that it was that it was Neo and everything like that. And the Animatrix kind of threw that all to the wind, which I absolutely loved. So Grace was saying she's laughing, but
and hi, Grace. Well, welcome along. Like, I think there's one or two new people who said hi that we haven't said hi to since. I'm sorry, I had a rant because I had such high expectations for the next two.
Maria's here. Mara's here. Mara.
Hi, Mara.
Mara. Am I pronouncing that right? I hope I am. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. If not, tell me how to pronounce it. I'll make sure I get it right next time. So. What else is there? Nerds Amalgamated said, can we all agree that Smith 2 versus Neo on the Matrix was the best moment?
Oh, look, they had really good set pieces. Don't get me wrong.
100%. Yeah.
Some like the highway scene. That I thought that was spectacular. Like that actually, when the two ghosts were chasing them around, and I thought that was fantastic. They had really good set pieces. The problem was it was basically set piece, very, very boring exposition about programming and loop cycles and all the rest of that. Awesome set piece.
Set piece.
But the other point would be the set pieces didn't link up nicely. Like the battle that there was one huge fight scene at Merovingian, and it ended up with nothing. It's like, you know what? I'm the wife. I'm going to do what Neo wants anyway. There was a lot of those things where these really great set pieces happen, but you could actually have removed that set piece from the story and nothing changes.
Yeah. Mandeep says that the best thing about the sequels was the score. The music is amazing in it. So Notes Amalgamated said the part about Neo lying on Morpheus in Matrix 2 about the one and Zion at the end was really annoying. Yes. Grace said that the CGI was kind of painful though.
There was some, but the thing is, I think we're spoiled because it's just gone on. Like, for example, one of the things that made the first Matrix probably a lot better, although it was CGI'd, they did, again, Star Wars reference coming in. CGI is meant to sit on top of practical effects. It's not meant to replace it. And I think in Matrix, a lot of it was, you know what, let's just CG that. Let's just CG that. While in the first Matrix, a lot of it weren't CG. For example, they used the bullet time. They invented different camera techniques for certain scenes for it to work. It wasn't all CG, but I think in the second and third, it was like, you know what? let's get 100 Agent Smiths. You know what?
But with him bending over and everything like that, that's all wires. So that's actually him
Practical effects.
bending backwards and everything. So that's what you're saying is practical effects mixed with really good CGI. And that's the same with the dojo scene with Morpheus. I absolutely love is like when he jumps and does the flying kick. And everything like that. It's there's a bit of CGI there, but there's also that wire. They've actually thrown him up into the air to actually get that scene and everything as well. But I have to throw this up. Where Gentilis is one person I haven't met from Star Wars. So Moira, why didn't you tell me before you went? I would have gotten you to get me something, but nah, that's just joking. So Max has said, morning. Hey Max, how you going, buddy?
Hey Max. But the other thing would be, as well as the filming, like a lot of CG now, and this is where I think it's a little bit, how do you say, a little bit cheapened when they use CG for create 3D effects. So, for example, if they want to rotate around somebody really quickly, they basically build a model, a CG model, and basically use an imaginary camera to pan around the model. Matrix didn't do that. Matrix actually just built a whole camera rig of like 200, I'm making a number up, like 200-300 cameras, and built the rig and just had those sequentially flash off, basically to create the effect. They didn't do that.
I was going to say, I think that's why everyone's fallen in love with The Mandalorian.
Exactly.
Jon Favreau and that have really found that beautiful piece of using set design with static images and then the CGI just on top of that to kind of bring it all in together. And I think that, as you were saying before, that mixture is what everyone that's when it works its best, when it looks fantastic type of thing. So yeah.
Who else have we missed?
Interesting fact, the operator in the first Matrix was replaced because due to contract issues that resulted in him being blacklisted from Hollywood. Wow.
Didn't know that one.
Well, you know that the Oracle was unfortunately passed away, so they had to replace her. There was someone else, I believe, there was a big gap between the movies because Keanu Reeves' sister unfortunately got cancer and that as well, so he was looking after her. So there was a lot of issues in regards to getting this trilogy out. But for me, I can sit down and watch The Matrix over and over and over again. It's one of those movies, even though I know the ending and everything like that, there's certain parts in those films, as I said, the dojo scene and all that, where I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's just, it just is really important and shows you that if you're going to write a trilogy, that you should really know the themes that you're going for throughout the whole trilogy. And we'll throw in another reference to Star Wars in their latest sequel trilogy. When you're just writing single movies and different people are writing movies, then there's no connection between the two. And that's why films feel broken. And I feel that with The Matrix a little bit, like it felt like it was going in one direction and then kind of took this other more techie direction and kind of didn't really work in the end.
But there is actually one really funny clip. We're not going to show it on here because we don't want to get copyright or anything like that. But I will share the link in the chat to watch. It's I don't know if you know, but Bollywood loves to remake movies, and they actually do scene-for-scene copies. So this is one of the most iconic Matrix moments, Bollywood style. So I'll share the link. When you get a chance, please do watch it. It is done very well. I was very impressed. So have you seen this one, Shaun?
No. I haven't watched much Bollywood stuff or anything. That's probably and not an area of my expertise. So I'll definitely watch that after the show. So I knew Mandeep was going to say that he's seen it. So
Yep. Oh, and before we go on, I want to give you guys just a quick sneak peek at the cover because we'll be coming back to talk about this. So if you came for this, there's a trailer coming and there's more to show. Just a sneak peek. Okay, but look, you have to watch the other link I sent you though. The Bollywood one, it's done very well. Mandeep, since you've seen that one, I would really like to know what you think because it is done so well. It is. It's spectacular.
awesome. All right. Well, what we'll do now is we've got a super cool teaser trailer for people that haven't been following the Fractured Shards project. Just wanted to give a quick update to those that have. We are on track to hopefully get the books this week and start fulfilling those physical orders. All the digital orders have already been sent out. So even those people that backed physically, all the digital ones have been sent out. So you can check out the book in full. There's a bunch of other exclusive digital content that we added, which was included images and photos and all that type of stuff. But before we go to the cover that Stephen cheekily showed you, we have a cool trailer for Volume 2.
Heard you work in the dark case.
What can you find? How can I destroy him?
Access granted.
I spy with my little eye.
Boom.
Nathan is fantastic. Like,
yeah.
he's
So
great.
Fractured Shards Volume 2 is launching on the 16th of December or the 17th of December if you're in Australia. So the 16th of December at 8 p.m. American Eastern Western Standard PST time. I always get that confused. So LA time, 8 p.m. It is now I've forgotten, is it 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. Australian time?
I don't know. I have to Google that one. But the main thing, it's coming.
Yeah. So we've got it on our Comics to Movies and More channel. So we are going to do a live launch. Dan Furigal has been kind enough to share his time. He is going to be with us for the live launch, which is amazing. We are going to do a live air read of Volume 1. We are going to send out some links to past backers to join us live on the show. So make sure you keep your Kickstarter for Volume 1 open because we will be sending out links to people to join us live on air. Dan is going to give away some iPhone airdrops. Is that what they call the earpieces? Airdrops?
AirPods or
airdrops. Come on, Shaun. Jeez. What time is it? And there's going to be a whole lot more. So it's going to be a really cool live launch. The community that's been built around Fractured Shards has been amazing. So we're super excited to get on to Volume 2. We're almost halfway through completing Volume 2. So we just can't wait to get Volume 1 physically into your hands as well. So hope to see all you guys there. So again, hit that subscribe and notify button so you know when we go live.
Yep. And the link has been shared in the comments, both on Facebook, if you're watching it from there, or YouTube. Please, if you haven't already, smash that notify button, because as soon as it goes live, Kickstarter will notify you. So hit the notify on the pre-launch, and thank you very, very much, because I think that's like 175 notifies there already. So it's absolutely fantastic. So thank you all, anybody who's already done so.
Yeah, if we can get up to 200 follows, I think that'd be pretty cool. So it's still a few weeks away. So yeah, which looks awesome. So video looks tight. Yeah, Nathan does a great job on these videos. It was really great to have him on the show the other week and really talk about the way his creative process. So if you actually haven't seen that episode, again, go back and watch our previous episodes on YouTube. He's amazing in regards to how he comes up with certain ideas. So yeah, 4 a.m. in the UK. I do apologize, guys. We're trying to accommodate as many people as possible, but yeah. So I've said this before, but I'm saying it again. I just love this badass Volume 2 cover. I have to say, even Ricardo, when he sent that through to me, he was like, I'm pretty happy with this cover, man. I'm really happy. I'm like, it looks amazing. So
it is a great cover. Yeah. Let's pop it now. So
you pop it up. There you go. Good segue. Go. Thanks, Grace.
And so look, but the one thing actually, and Shaun, you've read the script, and we've gone through with Dan a couple of times already. The one thing I do, and again, I'm not going to drop any spoilers at all. So there's 0 spoilers I'm dropping. I will talk about certain plot elements, but I will not. Look, you can still enjoy issue 1 listening to this. So you don't need to tune out, because we're not going to spoil anything for you. There's nothing I'm going to show in the next couple of pages which will also spoil Volume 1. So you don't have to worry about that. So feel free just to stay. There's no spoilers or anything. But the one thing about Volume 1, which we intentionally did, and I think even Shaun threw in so many different really awesome plot ideas, and Dan threw in all these plot ideas, is you can't tell everything in one volume. So what happened was, if you do read through Volume 1, there is a central story that runs through that. Basically, there is a beginning and end in Volume 1. So if you do read through the story, there is the standard catalyst, there is a setup, there is a conflict, and there's a resolution. So if you just read Volume 1 for Volume 1, you will get a complete story. But what happened in Volume 1 was you met basically a whole host of different characters. You met a whole host of different scenarios. Different bits and pieces were all introduced. And none of those smaller elements got resolved. And I think Volume 2 is actually a bit more fun to write, because we don't have to introduce so many elements, and you could really just focus on the 1 or 2 seeds to resolve it. For example, in Volume 1, you met Sebastian's dad. We introduced him there, so at least you knew that character existed. But you won't meet his dad again until Volume 3, 4, 5, or wherever down the track. But it's a thread that's just there until it all links up. Shaun, you know what happens. Like, what do you think? There's so many different things we haven't pulled the strings on, and I'm so excited. I don't know. I might spoil something. I might do a Tom Holland. So you've got to stop me.
I think the hardest part with like Dan was so excited when we were creating this series, but the one thing that we did try to have to explain to him is that we can only fit a certain amount in each volume type of thing, and each volume does, you know, kind of have to have a central story to it as well. So, you know, as you said before, Volume 1 is a complete story that you can read and enjoy. But if you read the whole series, then you'll understand more about each character and what's going on in that and the larger universe type of thing. Yeah. So, but it's always kind of fun. Like, you know, I've always read a lot of your books, and you've always, you know, thrown in little bits and pieces, and that if you go back and read your books, you're like, I noticed that, but didn't realize what that meant. Now I do, like, kind of when you're in the next volume. So I'm super excited about this. Abigail plays a bigger part in this second issue, and
let's get. Oh wait, we'll come to Abigail because we actually have a sneak peek on the Abigail pages. But let's talk about Evie for the time being. Without getting too much, and I love this. Evie is, and I think we were having a chat with Dad about this. Evie, we could make her really, really sassy because she doesn't take any crap from Dad. So the way that she could talk back to him, I love, because when you're writing dialogue for Evie, I just imagine, how do you say it? And this Evie
see,
is
I thought you were in my household because I was like, oh my god, that is exactly how Peaches speaks to me. So
you get no respect, like. And
I
love
do.
it.
She's just, I think it's at 5. She's just at that age where she's pushing the boundaries or testing those boundaries at the moment. So yeah, she's a little sassy at the moment. So
So you should give me Evie's dialogue. I shouldn't write Evie's dialogue. I should say, so what did Peaches say to you today? Oh, you can't believe this. Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more. Let me just write some stuff down.
If you could show eye rolls in the comic book, mate, that's what half of the conversation would be. It's like, oh, Dad, like, seriously.
We're gonna put some of those in, but I love it because as a character, you actually the whole Evie plot line I've hinted at, and it's gonna be an amazing thing when it finally resolves. But it's fantastic. She's probably my favorite character out of everything that we've built. I love it. I love Evie the most, easily. So you can see her. She's back in issue 2. Again, no spoilers, but I know we introduced the dad. The dad doesn't come back in issue 2 though, but we do expand on other parts of the universe. So there is still going to be the central case. You can still see this was actually introduced a little bit in issue 1 as almost the teaser for volume 2. So the cases get more gruesome. As far as the first case goes, it wasn't as gruesome as this. We do amp it up a little bit. But I think this is one of the coolest scenes. Abigail's back. And when Dan comes on next time, Abigail's actually based off one of Dan's friends, I think actor friends.
Yeah.
And I would really love for Dan to explain this character a lot more, because from our end, we get given, oh, I want her to do this. She's this personality. She needs to do this, this, and this. And we kind of just roll down to the story. But we don't know this person. And I really would love Dan to share some of the anecdotes of this particular person with you guys, because I think it's always fun when you write a character, it's a lot more fun if you can imagine somebody you're writing it about, if that makes sense. Like you imagine Peaches as Evie. Writing Evie, it's so simple. It's going to be so simple for you because you just imagine what she's going to say.
What she's going to say. Yeah, and I'm going to pop up Chris's comment here because, I want to make a comment around this. Chris said that this comic started off his Kickstarter journey, and it was the first one he ever backed. He's backed another 10 since then. I'm so glad I found it. So many awesome comics and comic book people through it. Now, I have to say, the community around Fractured Shards has been absolutely amazing. And if it wasn't for you guys and how well we did on Volume 1, we wouldn't be as far through production on Volume 2. if it wasn't for you guys. So, that's what we're really excited and passionate about as well now, because we want to provide you guys a really cool story and the best product as well, especially when it's the first one you've backed, and we really appreciate everyone that's come on board this project. So, Chris, thank you very much, man, and thank you for supporting the community. So,
And there is one thing I forgot to share, and I'm really, really glad that he's actually in the chat today. So I'm hoping, and we do love. This is actually our absolute favorite reward, and I've talked to Shaun about this a million times. If you had to pick one reward that makes you the happiest, what's that reward?
Getting drawn in,
without a doubt, and it's so much fun for us, and I hope it's also a lot of fun for you. Moira is probably the absolute the absolute best at this, because I have in basically almost every universe Moira exists. But
yep,
I've shared this.
She's the multiverse Moira.
So I've shared this already with this particular person, and I really hope I can share. I won't name that person, but he's in the chat. But I was so happy to get this person in. So this is this one particular person. Again, if you want to announce yourself in the chat, and if I can share your name, I know you're there. Please let me know, because I don't want to release it without your permission. But this is one of our absolute fantastic fans, and I'm really, really glad we could make him take part in the universe. And we gave him a speak, and it actually fit really well that we could slide him into a speaking role. So just confirming that's an okay. So look, since we got it, Mandeep, thank you so much for supporting Fracture Charge. It's really, really good. And we could slide this in, and we could even slide a genetics reference that you wanted.
100%. So now Grace asked if it was either Katrina or Vanessa. If people don't know who Katrina or Vanessa is Katrina Law, who was on Spartacus and Arrow, and Vanessa was one of the stunt women off Spartacus. But no, it's Abigail's not based on either of those friends. She's not. I don't think she's an actor. I think she helped him with yoga and calisthenics and that type of stuff. But we'll have to ask Dan about his friend and how much information we can give out about her. But yeah, and thank you, Mandeep. You've been a really big supporter of all of our series, so it's kind of great to be able to have you in there and in the talking role as well. So.
Yep. And there's actually one other scene that in Fracture Charts 1, and it's actually rebrought into Fracture Charts 2. So you actually get double the bang for your buck, because in Fracture Chart 1, there's one scene where Sebastian's basically, and it's been shared on Instagram and Facebook. If you, I'm happy to share the link afterwards if you guys want to see it. But you will actually see, basically Sebastian looking at the wall and have all these faces on it. So basically, that's basically all the supporters on it, and that page is in both 1 and 2. So basically, if you got drawn in if you pledge to get drawn in volume 1, you actually appear twice. And I think look, it's a huge thank you to you guys, because it's so much fun for us. It is absolutely fun for us. The other fun reward, and we're not going to show these ones, but the other fun reward that we actually had this time was a individualized sketch that was done by the name eludes me, Xavier Sinver. And we had so much fun with that, because we actually gave all the people who pledged for that reward the option to say to us, what do you want to do with Dan's character? And we actually were very, very open with that. And we asked Dan, do you want to put any restrictions on that? And I remember Dan saying, nope. No, because and so some of them interesting, I'll say it at least. But like there were some which were fun, and for example, one somebody wanted to serve Dan a drink. That was nice and easy. Easy enough to accommodate that, and there was some which were a little bit more interesting, let's just say. But I really like that Dan didn't mind. It was like, you know what? And we're going to have that same reward back. So if you really want to do something with Dan, it's real. I don't think Dan will say no to any scenario really of
Yeah, I love the
getting.
one where he's working out with one of the other guys.
Yep.
They're pumping iron together. I was like, that's kind of cool, you know. That's
But that's a safe one. There were one or two not really safe safe suggestions.
So now we've talked about fractured shards. What is on for you next, mate? What do you have?
Oh, and look, thank you for this. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to share, and I've been sharing this a while. So I'm going to share the pre-launch link up. So um, as per normal, if you guys haven't done it yet, I would really appreciate if you could hit click on the pre-launch link and hit notify. Would really appreciate it. Look, I'm planning to launch this slightly next year, so it's gone through edit. I've again, I tend not to name people unless I ask them their permission first. So it's gone through edit with the editor already, and it's actually looking very. And I've really liked the story because it's one of the most tied-in stories that I had in terms of. I wrote this really as a once-off, so every element that was dropped basically does get closed off and closed off, I think, very nicely. So I was really happy with the way it ended. Um, so we'll skip here. It's called Wolf Cubs. So the plot basically is there is three central characters, and you've got a dark elf warrior who is very different to the other dark elves. You've got a mage, and you've got a rogue type character. They've steal something called, if you can see in his hands, this guy's hand, they steal something called the Heart's Desire from a lich. And by stealing this elixir called the Heart's Desire, it basically kicks off a whole series of events. And they get into a lot of trouble. Look, I really hope you guys do hit the pre-launch and check it out when it does launch, because like I said, I really love this story. Because what happens with the Heart's Desires, it grants them. You would think, like, for example, if she's the warrior, the Heart's Desire will make her stronger, a better warrior, a better mage. But it actually gives them what they think they need, not what they want. And I love it. I love the way the story unfolds. So the other thing was the artwork is done by a guy called Chris Picane. He's an Australian-based artist, and I think he's done a really good job with it. I had fun. I had really a lot of fun lettering it, so you can see all the different elements in it. The boom. There's goblins. There's liches, and I think the one thing I do love, and it sounds a bit cliche, in the end of the day, it's a story about friendship and how people react to certain things, and just thrown in a really good fantasy element. So you can kind of see here all the lich comes back, and the lich is angry. Somebody will be very sorry. So I hope you guys do check it out when it launches. If you check the Facebook page, I have been sharing a lot of different images, a lot of different panels. But yeah, after Fractured Shards comes out, I'm hoping to get this one out. So thank you for letting me showcase this one.
No problem, man. No problem at all. So super excited to see your next project. So Wordsmith has been so popular, so it kind of is nice to see you delve into the fantasy area again, type of thing. So it's really good. Moira's already put up that she's really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Moira.
Which is fantastic. So Now, the final thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Fractured Shards. Jeez, the 13th Labor is ending. So issue 1 and 2, which is up at the moment, is ending. So thank you to whoever pledged right then while we're online. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, please do so. It's a really great story. It's a story of loss and bereavement and grief, and how you can work through that type of thing. So I think during this period of COVID and everything, it's a really good story to tell, and the artwork from Ataru Mesa is just absolutely beautiful. So now with this one, the book is completely done. So we're hoping to have it printed and ready to go before Christmas. And then delivery, pretty much straight after Christmas. So, as I said, you've got until 10 a.m. tomorrow, Australian Eastern Standard Time, to get on board that series as well. And thank you to the 146 people that have already backed the project, which is amazing. We're already $630 over our initial goal, which is fantastic, and that'll help us and go towards getting issue 3 out next year.
You're not playing the video? Can we play the video? Because
play the video again? Yeah,
we've got some time. Let's play the video, because afterwards I'm going to have a rant about shipping. We're going to have my shipping rant. But please play the video. It's fantastic.
Hey everyone, my name is David Gay, this is Charlie, and welcome back to 13th Flavor. If you're new to the series, The 13th Flavor is a fantasy sci-fi comic written by myself, illustrated by Arturo Mesa, and lettered by Tom Napolitano. Issue 1 found Greek demigod Hercules at the end of his 12 labors of atonement, but instead of finding forgiveness, Hercules was confronted with the sobering realization that years of labors had done nothing to ease his pain and suffering. Seizing his son's moment of uncertainty, Zeus tasked Hercules with the 13th labor, to travel thousands of years into the future in order to find and train his descendant for an upcoming intergalactic tournament of champions. But things didn't go as planned. Issue 2 brings us into modern times, where a mysterious teenage girl named Pippa draws the attention of Hercules and his babysitter Hermes. The 13th labor truly begins as we start to unravel the tragedy of Hercules and Pippa's intertwining sagas of loss and forgiveness. With exclusive art rewards by Arturo, including personalized sketches, variant covers, and full illustrations, now is the perfect time to join us on this mythic journey.
God, I love that video.
I know.
Jeez.
It's fantastic. The one thing I do like, I love the concept, and I have read number 1 already, so I haven't read number 2. Actually, it's actually one of the first few times I actually don't have a sneak peek into a lot of these. I used to have a lot of sneak peek into most of the stuff you get out, so I've usually read it. I haven't read 2, and I am very excited about 2 because I really enjoyed 1. But look, my rant about shipping, and unfortunately, and I know we're approaching the time where Fractured Shards is about to ship out, and there's other projects which are also shipping out, and all we really ask is a bit of your patience, mainly because what usually takes about 2 weeks, and I do some tracking on some of the bigger parcels. Some of it has been taking close to 6 to 8 weeks. And I know a lot of people have backed Terra Olympus, and thank you very much. And we're actually getting both me and Shaun, every time somebody sends us a photo or says, we've got it and it's arrived in great condition, it just makes us so happy. But the problem is it's taken a lot longer, like 6 to 8 weeks. And unfortunately, a lot of it's beyond our control. So we just asked when the other projects do come out. it is when we say it's on their way. Please look, believe us that it's on the way, and when it arrives again, please just let us know because. And the other thing is, if it doesn't arrive within a certain time frame, please also let us know because we'll be more than happy to try to track stuff down for you, as well as if for whatever reason if it gets lost or vanished, we would just send you a different copy because
Yeah.
you guys have supported my projects, Sean's projects, our joint projects. If you haven't got what you want, it breaks our heart because why we do this is for you guys to read our stories, and it's really important for us to do so. So if you haven't got it, the other thing would be is, and thank you Australia Post, all shipping prices have all gone up
Again.
and
So
it
that's the twice in about 6 months, which is
and
crazy.
it is, and unfortunately for us, there's really not much we can do because direct couriers are even more expensive, like the DHLs and stuff like that, and don't scale properly. Like, so the other thing we do is look. We are absolutely doing our best to hold shipping prices as they are. So for people who actually receive some of the Terra Olympus packages, look at the stamps, look at the sticker price on some of those, and you'll see the price you paid for shipping is actually a lot cheaper than the price that's actually sometimes on the envelope. And to be really fair, that's intentional of us because we don't. And look, Hannah, you can check the numbers. We don't make money on shipping. It's something we actually lose a little bit of money on, mainly because we don't want it to be inhibitive for you. For example, if you were buying a like a $25 graphic novel and the shipping was $30, you'll be going, the shipping's more than what I'm getting. It's not worth it. So we do take an intentional hit on all the shipping. There's things we do, like we do use certain US and UK distributors and bits and pieces. We do our best to minimize cost. But I'll just let you guys know, it's not something that it's easy for us to win because it's not something I don't think we can really win at all. All we can do is keep it at slightly below cost for you guys, so that, and we just basically ask for your patience because, especially
And
Sean, I know you've got a lot to ship out, so it's going to
yeah,
be a crazy time for you.
yeah, and I was going to say this leads into a really good Kickstarter and crowdfunding tip in regards to know your postage costs. So I understand that a lot of, especially for a lot of first time creators, they don't know how much stuff weighs and all that. But if you know that it's going to be a single floppy issue, then actually box up what you're going to be sending, weigh it, and actually do that with a different comic that's bagged and boarded and all that type of stuff, so you know how much it's going to cost you in weight. Because where a lot of projects fall over, and even more so now, is when a project isn't completed prior to going to Kickstarter. Takes so long to get out, e.g. Fractured Shards at the moment, and then shipping costs increase. So you've budgeted at one price, and then now if you've just made your target, then you're losing money because of that. So that's something to be really mindful of when you're doing a Kickstarter. So if anyone out there is watching this, it's a great tip to understand those shipping costs and that type of stuff.
And the other good thing is we are constantly improving as well. So the one thing I was actually very happy to experiment with, and I'm going to mention Mandeep's name again because he gave me feedback about it. I've been using a much stronger envelope because what I've been finding is the Australian Post supply envelopes, I've been told they rip and tear. And we take that feedback on board. So we actually invested in really good 700 GSM envelopes. Yeah, it can hold a coffee cup. Basically, you can hold the envelope, put a coffee cup on it, and it will hold. And that seems to be better. Sean's also investigated a really, really cool one, which is a flat box. Do you have one handy?
I do.
And that flat box, basically, it fits just the standard large letter size. And I have to say,
Yep.
what was the last thing you sent to me? What's the last XCT I backed? And it
Uh,
came in that, was it 30 flavor that came in that
so
box?
I think it was the 13th flavor that went in all the boxes. That was the first one that I tried. So
Yep.
yeah,
And it came out a treat, I have to say. Absolute treat. And so in terms of shipping as well, we are doing our absolute best because what I used to do, and I think a lot of people think, I used to use the Australian Post supplied envelopes, the pre thing, and those, and again, damn you, Australian Post, those were terrible. It felt good, but by the time it made it all the way across the world, the feedback I got was it doesn't survive. It gets
yeah,
ridiculous.
and then if you use their recycled one, which is much heavier, much thicker, it's so much heavier that it then puts you up into the next price bracket for shipping anyway. So it's like trying to find that nice balance of keeping the shipping costs down, but also protecting your comics and graphic novels and all
Correct.
that type of
And
stuff.
look, if we ever err, we will always err to make sure it's better protected because
100%.
and again we also extend this out. If anybody's things gets damaged, and we don't care if it was the postman's fault, your dog bit through it on the way in, or whatever it is, just please let us know because we don't want you to think that you got a damaged product or whatever. We do our best to fix it, absolute best to fix it, and it's not a it's usually, look, I have people have come back to me, and you can check some of the comments where they go, look, something's bad. Look, the mailman basically rolled it up and jammed it through the front door. Not my fault. It's not our fault too, but guess what? We want you to have something that makes you happy. So please, if something comes through and you're not 100% satisfied, look, just reach out to us. We're really reasonable, and we'll absolutely do our best to make sure that you get what you want in the condition that you should get it in. And we're learning as well. So thank you for that. And also thank you for patience, because I know when Shaun ships stuff, even if he ships it tomorrow, you're still looking at about 6 to 8 weeks, which it is what it is.
Yes. But we promise that Fracture Shards Volume 2 will be shipped out very quickly after the campaign ends. So you'll be able to read Volume 1 and then almost Volume 2 straight after that as well, which is really, really awesome. So
my recommendation, read the digital and store away your physicals, because one day when Dan signs that Netflix deal and you have a first printing,
100%. That's it.
I'm just saying, when a first printing, mint condition, still in original packaging, I'm just saying, it could be worth a lot more than it is. Look, let's go through the final comments.
Yeah, Moira had said, you sure do. I had to get a replacement one time, all the pages stuck together. Yeah, that was Talos of Sparta. There just a little bit of moisture had gotten into the package. Package wasn't wet itself, but all of the pages stuck together. So I resent it to Moira. So, I've had the same issue. Hence why I've done these boxes now. They're so much better. So yeah.
Oh, and one last rant as well before a lot of the back to postage shipping rants. Customs has also changed in a lot of countries. So to Europe, it used to be you could just send a letter, and as long as it was flat and went through X-ray, you were sweet. They've changed a lot of the rules for custom forms. Like I think we had a spate of almost as I was talking more Wordsmith 3, and I think yours was Talos at the time, where the customs were basically just rejecting every single thing that was coming through.
3 times. I sent out 70 parcels 3 times.
Yeah.
So instead of doing one lot of 70, I sent out 210 parcels. Yeah. And it was annoying that I had to repack some of them and everything be due to that issue. But
and so So that's why sometimes we have to use distributors. As much as I would love to, everybody will get something that I send out personally. Um, I'll be honest with you. In some cases, we have to use in-country distributors, and we don't have a choice because you send a flat pack parcel, customs is 50-50 to send it back, and it is the most annoying thing to get it back. And you go to the post office, and they'll go, "There's nothing wrong with this." Um,
Yes.
um, and I will give our good friend in Scotland, Mark, a shout out for this because he had the exact same issue sending to Australia, where he actually got a refund check back because they rejected this. And one of the things that was one of the parcels was mine because I backed his this land, and it got rejected. And Mark was going, "Why?" I'm going, I really don't know. It's probably my country. I'm really sorry for it." But they basically threw back, I think, 30 Australian parcels.
Yeah.
I think, if I can remember right, Mark, if you're there, correct me, or if you ever listen to this afterwards, please correct me. It got sent back like 3 times, and he actually got a refund check for hundreds of pounds because of the thing. So thanks, Moira.
Well, I think we need to make that a segment of the show moving
Yes.
forward. Stephen's rants. I'll get Nathan to do a jingle and everything for it. Okay,
no,
mate.
please don't. Then you
So-
play it every time I'm about to rant. You just go click.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Put it in the comments if you want me to do a jingle for Stephen's rants moving forward. If I can get more than 2 comments saying yes, I'll do it. Or we've got one. Does someone else want a jingle for Stephen's rants? All we have to do is put yes in the chat. Come on.
I think we need to end the show now. So thanks, guys. Let's
So yes, guys, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, talking about all of our projects. Next week is going to be a big show. We're super excited. It is number 50. So it's going to be our 50th show, which is phenomenal. So we're trying to organize something a little bit special. So keep an eye out of that, and we will be back live at 10 p.m. But Mandeep has said yes, he's up for that jingle, and so is Sassy Gal. So
has Moira, by the way. So it's
as well. Yes, that's right, Moira as well. Yes, we want a jingle, please. So I will get on to Nathan now, and we will see what we can put together. But
I'll put one together for you. Actually, I'll have some fun with it.
Okay, here we go. Stephen's rants. But thank you again, guys. Have a great night, morning, wherever you are, and we are excited to have you along for all of our journeys on all of our creative projects, and we look forward to seeing you next week.